and a lot of people are having trouble coping with it. So, do another live video where we talk about our guy. Um, I'll tell you, man. Like I said, he was a huge inspiration to the show. Still is. I enjoyed his talks on finance. It's another reason. It's not even the politics that got me. It's his viewpoints on just diversified investing that really got me going. I wouldn't say he was necessarily a mentor to me in the finance realm, but in the spirituality realm, I felt like he had a lot of things going on right. You know what I mean? There's a few things about him that just always felt pure of heart, and it was just honestly still to this day, it's still very odd. It's only been a few days, but there's still a lot of people wondering what's the direction of U.S. politics, because he was a big reason why Donald Trump got elected more than anything, um, and it's wild if you think about it, how crucial he actually was to getting Donald Trump elected, and it's a good thing. I think it's a great thing. Um, I think the thing is, man, it's just like, how do you explain to those kids that their dad was shot in cold blood? It's sick. It's just disgusting, man. And yeah, we're seeing the aftermath of it, and it's ugly, man. It's ugly. And I watched Alex Stein's show, and he was just breaking out in tears. Um, but man, I just don't know how you move forward with that. No, he was really one of the biggest guys in the field of like just politics in general, man. He was really killing it. He was really kicking butt, dude. And all of a sudden they take him out. And have we just all become so numb to this? Like, when does it end? I just wish people would stop seeking this glory. It's a sign that the times of societal decay, man. It is societal decay at its worst. But yeah, if you're not sad by what happened, man, lost a powerful voice. I'd be sad if anybody dying in that way, man. It's just, I understand that everybody has their time, but isn't nature cruel enough? Isn't nature cruel enough? So that's how I feel about it. I feel like nature's cruel enough. Why do Ultra Fire says let's get the party started? Hello, we're getting back to little politics. Like I said, this channel is a variety channel. We're not a one-trick pony. We talk about everything. We talk about fantasy football. We talk about politics. We talk about investing. When it goes into the realm of politics, I hope that the people I'm covering are investors, because I do enjoy looking into their portfolios. I'm a huge portfolio scourer. This is what I do. I love checking out portfolios, man. It's fun. Rented Space says, good talking to you yesterday. Thank you, brother. What's up, Matthew Rice? Oh, I thought I was talking to Michael Rice yesterday. What do you mean skewed to the left? Super chats are read first, by the way. My mouth is not symmetrical. I don't think any really part of my face is purely symmetrical. I've got a very odd looking. I bet a bit of an odd looking face for sure. Pretty sure I got some messed up genetics along the line. It's tough. But yeah, overall, I mean, one of the things that I noticed about him, like I said, he's big on investing. I think it's actually really cool, more than anything. As a guy who's just a big sucker for investing, you know, it matters. I think investing is a good thing. However, if there's any pressing questions, make sure that you guys super chats are read first. So, if you guys want your chats read, super chats are read first. That's just the way it is, man. But yeah, I think the one thing I loved about Charlie was just his grit, his grind. He definitely grinded quite a bit. You know, he's one of those guys that constantly. He inspired me to grind on this channel, for instance, to keep this channel going, to find ways to interact with my audience in ways that's very innovative. And in a lot of ways, this is a lot safer when it comes to fan interaction. But if you guys have any pressing questions, let me know. It's crazy how many people were okay with this. By the way, just like, I'll give you an example. Like, just so many people on social media. I wouldn't say there was a lot of them, but I think any amount's too many. Any amount of people being okay with this just feels like too many, if you ask me. It just doesn't. It didn't seem right. It didn't feel right. It wasn't good. But yeah, overall, I mean, the one thing we could say is U.S. politics are not going to look the same, man. They're going to be interesting. Give me a few moments. So this is really more of a prediction. How will U.S. politics shape after the death of, honestly, someone I consider to be a very good person? Where we go from here? Checking out something real quick. Checking out a few pieces of information, actually. So, I think what's going to happen is the mega movement's going to grow stronger. I think it's just going to be the truth behind it all. Mega will grow stronger. It's tough to say what the ultimate result's going to be. But it's a shame, really. It's just a shame that for everything that's happened. But what do you guys think? Honestly, what do you guys think the future of U.S. politics will be? You know, let me know. Because I am trying to figure out what the future is going to be, what the future holds. It's kind of wild, if anything. But I mean, it's sad that people considered him divisive. I considered him somebody who just spoke his truth, whether you liked it or not. He spoke his truth, and I think the world actually is a better place for him speaking his truth. But unfortunately, people don't see it that way, and people saw him as a stain to society, which I don't get that at all. I don't get that at all. It's just tough to see. It's really tough to say what the end result's going to be, you guys. I don't know if things get worse, things get better. What is the result? Checking a couple things here. But yeah, I do believe he spoke truth. I believe it was truth. But he also did speak his truth as well, which is great. So here's the thing. I think there's going to be a rallying around effect on the right. And I think it's going to be... I don't think it's going to be too short, but I do think it's going to be one of those things that everybody's going to be like, whoa. So I will say, some of the outlets are saying early reporting shows anger and a sense of grievance, galvanizing conservatives. Some figures frame the moment as a turning point. Expect a short-term surge in just engagement, donations, and event attendance. It does say that there is mega TPUSA, Turning Point USA mobilization claims, pro-movement media. Let's see. Pro-movement media and allies are openly predicting a sleeping giant moment, with anecdotal claims of surging chapter interest and calls for continuing. Kirk's campus tour mission treats numbers cautiously, but note the momentum narrative. Crazy. It's wild because it's like, for instance, leftists have been so violent to conservative speakers on college campus. It's like these leftists don't realize how fascist they're being. And it's just, hopefully they realize it, but they probably won't. It's a shame, man. It's a damn shame. But I will say overall, we got to try our best at this point, man. We got to really encourage more people to... I think it would be great if a lot of people decided to bring a fold-out table to a college campus and just said, hey, debate me, So I would love to see more conservative speakers get out there and just go debate hard, But that's, I've seen the way that conservatives are treated on college campuses, and it's just disgusting. That's my analytics of all this, my analytical conclusion. So, would I like to see conservatives treated way better on campuses? Absolutely. But that's just the way that the left is. They don't have any good... They just don't have the ability to debate. They just get angry and they throw things at you, and it's pretty disgusting. So I'm not a fan of that. So not a big fan of the way the left has gone. I think the left has gone a little Looney Tunes, if you ask me. Yeah, it's disturbing. By the way, to everybody saying that a Republican killed Charlie Kirk, look up the facts. You're gonna find something completely the opposite. So. So what do you guys think? A little chili rice for dinner? I think I might slow cook this bad boy. Might do a little. No, I think I'll cook this in the pot real quick. But I gotta get the rice in the cooker. So I'm gonna start cooking the rice. So I am gonna cook a little bit of rice, you guys. I'm gonna keep an eye out for any super chats, though. Hey, I love canned food, man. I love my chicken. I love my chili. I'm all about that life. So I'm a chili kind of guy, dude. But yeah, no, I think that people rooting on for this are sick. They're sick in the head. They're mental patients, and that is my personal belief. And if they obviously have the right to do it, and I would never want to stomp on people's rights to be cocks, to be jerks. But I will say this, though. I do hope you look yourself in the mirror at some point, because, man, you are probably miserable if you celebrate somebody's death. Somebody who actually never did anything wrong. He may have said things you thought were wrong, but there's a big difference between words and actions. A big difference. And if you can't tell the difference, you are mentally ill. I'm sorry. Sorry. So, give me a moment. All right, so we got the rice in the cooker. Feel a little better. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just surprised at the level. I guess I'm not surprised at this point. The internet is full. People on the internet and on YouTube are unfortunately full of hate. I'm hoping it's just bots. You know what I mean? That's the goal. Is I hope it's bots and not actual people being this hateful. If it is bots, that is also a little bit disturbing. And these super chats, man, are just, and not these super chats. These regular chats are just killing me. Disgusting. In a bad way. They're hurting my soul. It's sad. Guess we got a lot of shitty people out there. I don't know. One moment, folks. So we got to pull out. We got to pull out here. It's the super chat poll here. What does the future of the U.S. look like? We got 9 votes in already. Wow, more votes than I expected. Let's see. What does the future of the U.S. look like? 19% of you are saying bright. 63% say grim. 11% say neutral. 6% say. 9% say interesting. If you guys do want your voices heard, make sure you drop a super chat. So overall, I do think that there is a bright future for the U.S. I just feel like this is a waking up moment where we all need to realize we do need to see a better future for America. I do think we need manufacturing back in America. Here's the thing, we can't just be a service-based economy. I just don't think that works in the long run. Now, we do have raw material that we still, like oil and stuff, we could still drill. So we still have things we can export out, but at the same time, we're really a service-based economy. And it's getting bad. There's also a lot of, sadly, a lot of conspiracy theories that are going on about his death. I think what's crazy is the dehumanization aspect of all this. It blows. It's disturbing. The fact that people are dehumanizing this guy. I ended up watching the video, and it was horrific. It was disturbing. Um, yeah, it's just wild the amount of hatred that's spewing out of everybody, man. It's just sick. It really is disgusting. So we got 67 votes in the poll. What does the future of the U.S. look like? 22% of you say bright, 49% say grim, 14% say neutral, 14% say I don't know. It's kind of mixed results so far. It is leaning grim, though. It is leaning pretty grim. Make sure you guys at least subscribe to the channel, please. The more subscribers we have, the better. But yeah, my belief is, I really don't think he was as bad as everybody said he was. You know, I've watched his stuff. Does he get a little snarky? Sure. But then again, look at the crazy college kids he has to deal with. I would go insane if I had to talk to half of those idiots. I hate talking to college kids a lot of the time unless they're just kind people. I don't really care about what people's politics are. It just seems like kids who are going to college, they're still young, and I avoid talking to them overall. I think that college kids are just not worth talking to. And yeah, I think it's because they think because they're in college that they somehow know everything that they need to know. Is their typical assumption, is the college kid assumption. But yeah, college kids are low-hanging fruit. I would not want to debate them not because they would win, because they would just yell at me if I even disagreed with them one time. And I think it's a lack of parenting overall. Yeah. So it's a lack of parenting overall is what my belief system is. All I know is maybe I'm not brave enough to tell you so. That footage was haunting, though, man. I wish the societal degradation wasn't happening. I really do. And I don't even know if there's hope anymore. You know, there's a lot of sick people in this chat. And you know what? I know that Charlie took the high road, but I'm going to take the low road. You're disgusting. You're devilish people. And yeah, you know what? I'm not much of a believer in. I don't. I just. It hurts to know that many people. It's evil. Yeah, it's absolutely evil. I don't even know why I'm holding back on it. You guys in the chat who are advocating for this terrible stuff, you're evil. You're just evil, man. I don't know any other way to say it. And I'm not going to ban you because eventually it just blows my mind. Johnny says, hey, it's okay to call out the evil. It's awful. Yeah, dude, I agree. Everything a lot of the things that these people are saying in the chat, dude, it's disgusting, man. It freaks me out that people are being this disgusting and actually wanting to see that footage. Like, after I watched it, man, I cried. Because I knew the footage was out there, and I was like, if it's out there, I'm gonna have, you know what I mean? Like, I gotta see some closure on this, because he was an inspiration to me in a lot of ways, in many ways. You guys have no idea how big of an inspiration he was. I may not have really a lot in common. I may not have had a lot in common with Charlie, but one thing we did have in common was we loved what we did, we love what we do, and we work our asses off. And we only went to a semester of college. I think he went to a little more college than I did, but he like him, I never finished. So, and we're both very opinionated dudes. That's another thing. So I don't know, just the level of evil, man. Yeah, I'll never vote. I'm just gonna say this right now, like, you know, at one point there might have been a possibility that I would vote for a left-wing candidate in the future. I will never, and I mean never, like, the door was partially open at one point, but after this, and after the response from all the leftists, there's no way in hell, zero chance I will ever vote anybody who has the label Democrat, ever. Also, first off, we're not a democracy, we're a constitutional republic. I'm so sick of everybody saying that we're a democracy and democracy dies in darkness. No, we're not a democracy. We're a constitutional republic. In fact, our founding fathers hated democracy. Most of them did, at least. They thought it was a bad, abhorrent idea, and they purposely left it out of the Constitution. Smart of them to do that because, honestly, majority rule doesn't work. Majority rule ends up being mob rule, and when a group of people get together and they think that they're right, usually they're wrong. Mob mentality is dangerous. Group thinking at a very, condensed level, it's bad. That's why I don't live in a big city. I live in a pretty relatively small town. For sure. I just needed a minute. I need a minute. But thank you for the $2 super chat, my brother. I appreciate that big time. But yeah, Johnny Says, make sure you guys subscribe to Johnny Says. Thank you for the super chat, my man. The poll says, what does the future of the U.S. look like? 24% of you say bright, 50% of you say grim, 8% say neutral, 19% of you say I don't know. I'm disturbed by the lack of empathy right now. Yeah, to all you sickos, if you sickos in the chat who are being disgusting, if you guys are celebrating a good person's death like that, you know, ugh, it doesn't matter. We're going to talk about the future of U.S. politics. I think it's an emptier place without Charlie. I think he contributed quite a bit, and I think he would have gone on to contribute much more. And I do think he was coming from a good place when he did all this, when he was doing what he did, when he was going to college campuses, and, you know, he was trying to encourage critical thinking. That was the best part about him. There's many parts. He's a good father, good husband. Well, if you guys are going to say these disgusting things, why don't you put it in a super chat? All right, so 50% of you, we have enough votes to say that, yeah, it's looking grim. For sure. Just thinking, you guys, real quick. I'm sorry, I'm thinking. You guys got to give me a few moments to think. So, the question is, have the Dems lost a lot of voters after all this? We got 15 votes in. 56% of you say yes. 47% of you say no. Crazy. But yeah, I think the Democrats have lost the plot. Yeah, I do believe there is some optimism after all this. I'd like to believe there is. Hopefully. So we got 37 votes on the poll. Have Dems lost a lot of voters after all this? 56% of you say yes. 45% of you say no. Interesting. But yeah, everybody who worked with him, his family, friends, I mean, like, dude. I mean, he made a huge impact on U.S. politics, more than people realize. Like, the biggest things, the aftermath on this, um, for example, the secession at Turning Point USA is still unresolved. PBS reports it's not yet clear who will lead. Chatter on the right floats Erica Kirk or other insiders, but that's not confirmed. Watch for a board COO announcement and whether media properties show podcasts continue uninterrupted. It may be a while before they continue the podcast again. I don't blame them. Or continue any of the Turning Point activities. I could see them putting that on hiatus. But yeah, this is a good versus evil situation. And the people who are rooting this on, I think deep down have a lot of soul searching to do. You got a lot of soul searching to do, my man. If you're promoting this in any way, you have a lot of soul searching. Any of you guys eat Southgate chili at all? You guys big fans? It's pretty good chili, man. I like it. I'm gonna open up a can real quick. Open up the chili. Let's see here. Boom. We're waiting on the poll. Let's see. Have Dems lost a lot of voters after all this? 59% say yes. 41% say no. One moment though. We're gonna have some chili in a bit. But thank you guys for being so patient with me. I'll be right back. One moment. Okay. One moment. One moment. All right, so we got 93 votes already. So have Dems lost a lot of voters after all this? 65% of you say yes. Well, 66% say no. Sorry, 66% say yes. 34% say no. So some of the messaging in party politics. So there's a Trump-centric narrative control. Reporting shows President Trump has taken a dominant public role, announcing developments, assigning blame, and planning high-profile honors, which helps him set the movement's tone, but risks further polarization. Look, I think there's already polarization. I don't think there's really anything that's going to stop the polarization at this point. It's basically a tale of maybe not two cities, but tale of two worlds in a lot of ways. There's people who want big government and socialism and stupid things like that, and there's people who want small government and capitalism and things that work with humanity. And I feel like it's just kind of, I don't want to say, I hope it's not like civil war or anything like that. I really don't want it to get to that point. But so there's also unity calls versus escalation. So some leaders, including Republicans, call for lowered rhetoric, while others lean into combative framing. That split will shape whether this becomes a unifying moment or a grievance accelerator. So there's a lot of factors weighing in on this, for sure. Yeah, I could say it's chaotic people versus religious people, but then again, I'm not very religious. But I would say I'm agnostic for sure. I believe that there's a possibility of a creator. I also believe there's a possibility of chaotic design. It's just so tough to tell. I do, I do believe I have a little bit of an envy for people who have faith, though. Faith in certain things, and I believe maybe I should have more faith in the invisible. I'd probably be less miserable. But yeah, I mean, I think there's division no matter what at this point. I don't think there's really any going back from it. You know? Just not too sure. Looks like my buddy Antoine was trying to call me. Hold on. I can't really. Give me a second. Maybe he'll answer Messenger.
Dexter.
Hey, what's going on? Sorry, I had to answer on Messenger on my other phone because I'm live streaming with my main phone. But
yeah, I was seeing if you wanted to hoop up. Lewis wanted to hoop and wanted to see if you wanted to hoop.
Heck yeah, dude! What time you guys thinking?
Here pretty shortly, and then I think I was gonna watch my game at 5.
Oh heck yeah! Were you guys gonna go Blossom?
If you want to go Blossom, we could do Blossom.
I'm down for a little bit of Blossom Ball. That sounds kind of fun.
All right.
But I'm probably gonna be about. Let's see.
I'm gonna play a Fortnite game with Ray real quick, and like another one. So take your time if you have to. And
okay.
Get ready.
Cool. Yeah. Just send me a message when you're about ready to head that way to Blossom, and I can go head that way too.
All right.
All right, man. All right, I'll talk to you later.
All right, talk to you later.
Bye. But yeah, so it's yeah, he's a cool dude, Mr. Antoine, man. Cool dude. I'm sure this is good. But these are confusing times, without a doubt. A lot of confusing times. If you guys have any pressing questions, though, make sure you guys provide a super chat. The more super chats we have, the better. Let me go over a few more little pointers here. Now, there's some risks and downside scenarios that people need to consider. Potential radicalization and copycats. That's a thing. Security researchers and analysts warn of a vicious spiral of political violence. How elites talk now could raise or lower risk over the next year. So it does depend on how everybody's treating this. I really don't. I don't want this to be normalized. It shouldn't be. You should be able to speak your mind without people trying to kill you. It's insane. Leader vacuum drift. Without Kirk's organizing, branding talent, youth outreach could fragment or be captured by more extreme voices, which some analysts say could shrink appeal to swing college-educated voters even if it fires up the base. Interesting. Well, yeah, I'm reading the information. I'm reading the information and had to come to some conclusions with it. This is all pre-planned, but there's also backlash dynamics to consider. Cancel fights, a wave of firings, doxing after online comments about the killing is already stoking free speech battles that can harden camps and keep. Look, if there's a lot of sickos that want to be okay with the killing of this guy, I don't like it. I don't like that people are okay with this. I don't like that it's being normalized in any form or fashion. It's just disgusting. It's weird. Freaks me out, man. I'll be right back, you guys. I'm going to change into some shorts. If you guys have any pressing questions, feel free to super chat away. Yeah. But the poll is suggesting have Dems lost a lot of voters after all this? 62% of you say yes, 38% say no. It's an interesting dynamic. All right. Oh, there was a super chat I missed. Hold on. Mike Moda. So Lear 2013 says, in my opinion, I blame the news. Abso-freaking-lutely, brother. The news cycle, man, it's a little extreme, and it really blows my mind more than anything. Yeah, the news cycle, just the way they cover everything is pretty rough. Saying I don't hate the media enough. Yeah, I mean, no, I'm not a fan of the mainstream media. I think the mainstream media has been disgusting and just vile throughout all this. Yeah. Checking something real quick. Hey, we're at 5,092 subscribers. Thank you guys for everybody subscribing. Really appreciate it. But yeah, I think the Democrats have lost a lot of voters after all this, and I think they're aware of it. I'd like to believe they're aware of it, but then again, Democrats just seem way too deluded, and they're just so certain that they're on the right side of history. No, I think advocating for anybody's death is the wrong side of history. He's honestly one of the best of us, man. Yeah. Give me a few moments, you guys. I gotta put more stuff in my pocket real quick. Gonna play a little basketball with my buds here in a little bit. But do what I can to be better, man. I'm not ready to leave yet. Still I'm waiting for my buddy to give the go-ahead. There is the campus and media environment. So campus security and speech rules are likely to tighten. Universities are reassessing event protocols, so expect more security costs, venue scrutiny, and policy fights about who can speak where. It's probably going to happen. It's going to be a misinformation surge. Fact checkers are already swatting viral claims, a pattern that usually prolongs the story and keeps partisans engaged. Interesting. Now the question is, will MAGA get stronger? Short run, very likely to see a spike in mobilization, fundraising, and media attention around the martyrism frame, early conservative media and allies. Hold on. Yeah. It's tough to say. I think there's a little bit of lefties going crazy. But yeah, early conservative media and allies are explicitly predicting it. Medium run, two plausible forks. The coverage highlights. Let's see. Could be a few months. Let's see. Consolidation or Trump's aligned messaging. Oh, thank you. Lear 2013 gave a $5 super chat. Thank you, buddy. Do you think there were a lot of teachers cheering for Kirk's death? Fuck. I'm trying to reply to this. Hold on, you guys. Give me a second. Unfortunately, my guess would be yes. Which is scary to think. These creeps teaching kids. Yeah. It's all a little freaky to me. For sure, definitely bums me out though, is what I will say. It's one of those things that's just how. Ler says even worse, doctors and nurses. Yeah, when doesn't shock me either, which is crazy to me. Hey, Jower G, where do I live? You guys claim you found my address, so where do I live? If you, but I will say, if you guys want your pressing questions answered, super chats, baby. Yeah, a lot of doctors and nurses actually being okay with this. It's just wild to me. Yeah, Leah, we're having a peaceful chat. Absolutely. It's just sad seeing all these freakazoids in the chat who are just wanting to stir up trouble and just be jerks. That's the reality of what we're facing here. Yeah, people are not happy about this, man. But yeah, I guess the ultimate question is, have the Dems lost a lot of voters after all this? And I think yes, they have. If you don't think so, I mean, whatever. You're wrong. But Jonathan Stewart says this issue is bigger than sides. We need a Charlie. Absolutely, man. Abso-freaking-lutely. We do. We sincerely do, man. And also, let me reply to that chat. Hold on. Thank you, Jonathan Stewart, for the super chat, though. Greatly appreciate it. It helps support the channel in a lot of ways. So, But yeah, we got a lot of voters here, and 61% of you say yeah, 39% of you say no. Huh. Lear says, "Do you think we need to clean the school system?" Oh man, I think there's a disturbing amount of communist and socialist teachers in the school system. They're definitely not helping. I'll say that. Jower G, where do I live? Just put it out there. What's the name of the street? What's the name of the street? Doesn't matter. Lear says I was going through short and saw a story about a teacher showing 11-year-olds Kirk's death in Canada. Jesus. Dude, what is wrong with the teachers, man? There's a lot of messed up teachers. I'm not going to remove the dude. I just don't remove. I'm just too lazy to remove anybody. I just kind of do my thing on the chat. I just do my thing. I stream, and if YouTube finds it dangerous, enough people will report these people. Plus, all my information's fake on the internet. But I'm 41 years old, if you guys want to know my age. So, I'm surprisingly older than I look. Just shocking. I don't look too bad for a 41-year-old. But yeah, a lot of. Jonathan Stewart says new wave of real NPCs. Absolutely, there's a story, so I don't know if it's true. Says Lear 2013. By the way, to the majority of people, if you want your questions answered, you gotta throw a super chat my way, because chances are, if you don't throw the super chat, I'm not reading it. There's two people that are in number one, number two spots though, because they've been, if you gotta, sometimes you gotta pay if you want that notoriety. So, yeah, I look a lot younger. It's wild. But yeah, I think the people who are celebrating it, though, they just need to look themselves in the mirror. Jonathan Stewart says, not at all, man. You look good, brother. We need people to talk and debate. Absolutely. Lear says, teacher suspended after showing students video related to Charlie Kirk's death by the staff, the Canadian press. Oh, wow. Boy. Yeah, it's wild to think, like I said, it's wild to think just how many people have been advocating for a lot of this stuff. It's just very freaky, I guess you could say. But I do believe the Democrats have lost a lot of voters because of this. Jonathan Stewart says, "Don't ignore the hate. Let them expose themselves for the hateful beings they are. The regular 98% of the population can recognize terrible people, without a doubt. Without a doubt, my man." Very sadistic they are. Yes, without a doubt.
Nexter.
What's up, my man?
Oh, I'm just getting ready, and then I'm gonna head to Blossom. He's going, and Lou's going, and you and myself.
Beast. That sounds cool to me, man. Yeah, I'll be down there here in just a second. I'm gonna finish up on the. I'm gonna just do 5 more minutes of the live. I'm gonna keep tabs on it. My rice is almost all cooked, so I'm gonna keep an eye on that too. I'm just yeah, I'll be a little delayed. I won't be too delayed though. I've been
Hey, you're good.
people have been super cool on the chat. Some people, there's been a lot of cretins on the chat. I'm not gonna lie, but there's been some good people though that have been, actually, not dancing on this man's grave. But I also ended up getting some super chats, man. It's just crazy.
You're always gonna get crazies and good people. Always, it doesn't matter.
But yeah, right now it's funny because I'm talking about the future of U.S. politics after this happens. Like, what's gonna, how strong is the mega movement gonna get? That sort of stuff. And I'm curious, man. I'm curious to see what happens. But it just, what can be done to prevent and what can be done to prevent this from happening again in the future. That's the thing. Do you have any ideas? By the way, since you're on the phone already, do you have any ideas for the audience on how we can prevent this from happening again in the future to other people?
Have more securities at the colleges.
Yeah.
And have the have security on rooftops. Honestly.
Without a doubt, dude. That's the surprising thing, man. They got to have roof security 24/7 at this point.
I do not have roof security when somebody that it just blows. Like, look at Charlie said it himself. Look at the NFL stadiums and the NBA stadiums and these are arenas. My bad. NBA arenas, NFL stadiums. Concerts, they have security everywhere, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
That's how it should be at the schools, man.
No, for sure.
Schools, middle schools, colleges, elementary schools,
Yeah.
That's how you prevent anything like that happening. But these shootings keep happening, and these monsters keep coming out, and they plan this stuff because they check out the surroundings of everywhere, so that's why it just keeps happening, there's not much security around.
Yeah. Damn, dude.
If we're trying to prevent that from happening, we gotta do that.
Yeah. Correct, dude. That's some wise words from our boy Antoine right here. Well, yeah, I'll be down. I'll probably head out the door probably in roughly 5 to 10 minutes, and then I'm just gonna roll on out. I'm gonna bring my ball down there, and I can't wait to play. I can't wait to play with you guys, man. It's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be fun, dude. I'm down. Can't wait.
All right, sounds like a plan, brother. All right, talk to you later, man.
Later.
Bye.
Bye.
It's my good boy Antoine. Jonathan Stewart says, yes, increased security is helpful, but teaching students to think critically and argue for their beliefs instead of bullying others for theirs. Yes, and I think there's, I think a lot of teachers, I'm not going to do finger pointing at this point, but I think teachers should really look at themselves. It's surprising the number of teachers that are okay with what's happened. That's what blows my mind. I think, I'm not saying all of them, obviously. I think it's a small minority of people who are okay with this. They're they're just so ingrained on the internet that they've become so desensitized to the world. We got 325 votes on this. Have Dems lost a lot of voters after all this? 62% say yes, 38% say no. Yeah, Democrats used to be for the people. Now it's just really a tribalism thing. Your side versus ours. I will say this. For all the things that the left tries to accuse conservatives of, I think conservatives have actually done a pretty good job of just being good people. Lear 2013 says, teacher are what? Babysit our children? I don't know what you're talking about, dude. All right, so I'm going to head out in 5 more minutes. Are there any lingering questions that you guys have? If you guys want, put them in a super chat. We'll all be able to see them a lot more visibly. I'll be able to read them aloud and really acknowledge them. So we got 5 more minutes. Any last super chats you guys want to get in? I like to read super chats because, well, 1, it funds the channel. 2, I also get really curious about what people are thinking a lot of the time. So that helps out a lot. Oh, somebody said they like my hair. That's kind of cool. But if anybody wants to tell me how they really feel, do it in a super chat. I'll acknowledge it. I'll reply to it. But yeah, we've all become way too comfortable with all the craziness. Sorry about that, folks. Let me take a look here. Sorry for the delays, everybody. If I missed any chats, I want to apologize, but I don't see any super chats, so. I will say, Jonathan Stewart says, Jeremy, in here being hateful, I pray to you find others in life that makes you happy without belittling others. So, yeah. And then Lear 2013 says, enjoy your game and stay safe. Thank you, Lear. Appreciate you. Appreciate you big time. I'm going to do my best, for sure. Play a few rounds, get a couple games in, and look at this, man. 5,102 subscribers. We did it. You know, we were at, we reached the 5K marker. I think we did that. I think we all did that last night. I think was what happened. So. I will be back later to do more live streams, you guys. Don't worry. You guys probably don't care, but I want to thank everybody who's just been contributing and being awesome. And let's see. Oh, damn. Dude, I'm killing it in fantasy right now. Trey McBride is too fierce, dude. Justin Jefferson and... Trey McBride still doesn't have a touchdown? What the heck? Lear 2013 says, MM at work. I was hearing a conversation in Spanish about Kirk being racist. Jeez. Dude, he is not. Like, the rumor that he... So just because he supported the MAGA movement does not mean he's racist. I don't understand that. So crazy. Insane to me, man. All right, you guys, I better get going. Any last super chats before I go? Or if you guys want, become a channel member. If you subscribe, you can become a channel member. 99 cents a month helps keep this channel pushing, going hard. And growing even faster than I thought we were going to grow, to be honest. This channel is just, it's going crazy. It's growing at a very rapid rate. But thank you guys. Appreciate y'all. And hope you all have a good night. See you later. Yeah, some of the stuff in here just blows my mind. All right, I'll catch y'all later. We'll do more. We will be, by the way, make sure, like I said, subscribe so you can catch all the live videos. We're going to be live a little more often, talking about politics, mainly talking about it. We try to talk about investing, but honestly, with everything that's happened, we are going to be covering, Charlie Kirk, but other things. We will definitely try to go over more investing principles. See what happens. Anyway, catch you guys later.